Okay, hello everybody and welcome back to I think week 6 of the K12 Esports League. I am Zihei or Matt. Braden or Potato is not here today. He's in my stomach. I ate him. But today we are going to be watching the fight between, what is it? IDVA slash OVCA Cyber Wolves versus the CAVA Bears Team 2. And I know we watched the CAVA Bears Team 2, I believe last time we casted, or at least I casted, and it was a pretty interesting game. So I'm excited to see how this one goes. And we are waiting for the lobby to fill up currently, but hope everyone's Thanksgiving has went well. Everyone enjoyed the time off from work or school, wherever you did, and hopefully everyone had a good time. It's going to be a little weird because I'm by myself, but I'll try and keep it as entertaining as I would be with Braden. I know he's funnier than me, but it's okay. I'll do my best. So I'll transition over to the lobby here for a quick second so we can see the ranks of all of our players. And now, I know this season they added placement matches, so you have to play 10, and then you get a predicted rank. I don't know if these players have played their 10 matches yet, or it just kind of already has them in these ranks. So it's still kind of unconfirmed, but looking at both sides here, equal levels, so they have pretty equal time played. I guess the side of the Wolves has a little bit more time played, but time play doesn't really affect too much. I will say the rosters I've been given are a little different than what I'm looking at. But I believe we should be getting into the game pretty soon. So, transitioning back here. From what I have seen, nothing super major in terms of changes to the game. So I don't think there's going to be any huge meta shifts or anything, but ideally, we're going to see more Magneto. I love Magneto. I love watching him. I love seeing the flankers. I love seeing Daredevil, Iron Fist, stuff like that. Not a big fan of watching Moon Knight gameplay personally, but I know he's played a lot in these tournaments, so he's probably pretty good. So, yeah, just excited to see these. Seeing the teams if they're ready enough or not. They're not ready yet, so they have all the players, though. So we are going to start soon. And now, I would like to say I'm excited for this match. I have not been here in a couple weeks. Haven't played Rivals in that long either. Haven't watched Rivals in that long either, so I'm excited. I'm hoping I didn't miss anything big in the patch notes, because if I did, then I'm going to get called out on it and I'm going to feel stupid, but I'm excited. And swapping back, they do have all of their players, so waiting for them to start here. I would like... Apologies. I would like to see if I could get, in the future maybe, not right now, but if I could get, like, into their comms maybe, or, like, not me, but, like, maybe I can hear them. Maybe the stream can hear them. Hear, like, their pregame pep talks or something. That'd be kind of cool to figure out. I don't know how that's going to work logistically, if it even would work logistically, but it'd be pretty cool. Hope you guys would like to see that. I know I would. I'd like to hear what the teams are talking about in between matches, or the pre-round, or like what their strategies are going to be. And looking here, in terms of ranks, I will say that the Wolves probably have the advantage. They have 2 Platinum players in turn against Team 2's 1. And they have a couple golds, a couple silvers. It's about even the rest of the time. So it's going to be a pretty even match, honestly. Excited to get it started here. Hopefully they'll be ready soon. So, wish I had someone to talk to. That would help fill up this dead air very easily. But it's just me. So, I'm going to pull up the patch notes right now just in case I missed something. Just a lot of bug fixes. Nothing crazy. Did we get to see Gambit last week? Or last time? I don't remember if I was watching it last week. Or last time, I don't. But no, there's no real balance changes or anything. Just kind of waiting for both teams to ready up here. We'll come back when they're ready to start, I believe. So, be right back. And it looks like both the teams are ready, so let's get this started. So hopefully should be starting soon. There we go. Sweet. Now, I always love to talk about the bans before these matches because I know they are very crucial. We've seen in the past they're very crucial to the team's success. So, looking at the side of the Wolves, they are hovering Groot Mag, Daredevil Gambit, nothing else. The other two just did not hover. Looking for bans, we don't really know what either team's going to play. They have, I believe they've lost to, no, they've beaten CAVA Team 2. Yeah, they beat CAVA Team 2. The Wolves beat CAVA Bears Team 2 in Week 5. So they actually do kind of know what the Bears like to play. So maybe we're going to see those kind of bans come out. They banned Invisible Woman. The Bears banned Magic. I believe this is the right. Yeah, and they picked Emma Frost. They have that Lord icon on Emma Frost. They want to keep that and want to lock that in. Now, they on the other side of the Wolves, they picked the group, make sure he's also unbannable for this round. I like Groot. He did get changed semi-recently to be completely immune to being crowd-controlled or like stunned when he's near his big wall. So watch out for that. Pretty hard to play like Wolverine into it. Hulk ban coming out. Interesting. Maybe they just don't want to be dived. I guess it's pretty hard counter into Groot. You just jump on his back line. And banned Hawkeye from the side of the Bears. That's pretty interesting ban. They just They ban a poker and a diver. I guess they just don't want the gimmick headshots to come through. I understand. I understand. Those type of characters where they just spam down a choke and they get a kill, it's like, okay, bro. But it kind of feels frustrating to fight against sometimes. They've locked in the Phoenix, so that'll be pretty good sustained damage against the Groot. On the side, locked in Gambit for the side of the Wolves as well. Now, I would like to point out they are hovering, the side of the Bears, they are hovering 2 tanks and a Mr. Fantastic, which is pretty close to a tank. If you've seen him play, he gets big, he gets like 600, 700 health, and he does major frontline damage, gives shields to his team. He's very much more of a supportive DPS than a tank, or than a true DPS, like just pure damage. And maybe that's kind of, maybe the Wolves knew that and they were just trying to ban Invisible Woman to not get that team up, because she is the anchor, I believe, so she does the extra shielding and the bonus shielding and healing from having the Fantastic Four on her team. So maybe that was a good pre-snipe by the Wolves, because they did they did beat the Bears, so maybe they knew they liked to play that team up. I'm unsure, but now we're getting into the game here. I'm pretty excited to see these team compositions come out. A little bit lower damage on the side of the Bears. Like I said with the Mr. Fantastic, it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, still the duelist, still going to do a lot of damage, but just a little bit less than like a Hela or some other flanker like a Psylocke. On the side of the Wolves, we got Mag and Groot, with Rocket, Luna, Daredevil, and Gambit. So 3 supports, 2 tanks for the sides of the Wolves. I'm unsure if they're going to keep that or they're just using the Rocket for the initial armor packs at the beginning. Hopefully we'll get to see as the battle starts in 3 seconds. So now both teams just trying to poke here, trying to get onto the objective. It is the cart. Annihilate immediately falling to Madlad, and Gamer also Madlad falling, trying to kill the Cloak and Dagger as well. Just complete team wipe out of the Wolves. Wow, that was so quick. That was just immediate. Just 6 people down on the side of the Bears. But on the plus side, quick reset. All your teammates back together. No risk of staggering or dying late. They're all coming out of spawn as a unit. So maybe they just clean up whatever led them to lose that first fight and get back into it. No ults for this next fight. And again, we are still seeing the 3 supports and their Daredevil from the side of the Wolves. Maybe because they're pushing, they just want to sustain on the cart like this. Bubble coming out onto the Daredevil, trying to get that frontline damage. Big damage onto the thing. Koi Fishy falling very, very low, but healed up by his supports. And now just trying to poke on this objective here. Daredevil falling low, just can't really seem to get anything. Groot as well, just walling off the team, trying to find those picks for his team, but it is not. No picks coming through yet. The 3 supports on the sides of the Wolves keeping their tanks up very nicely. And now we have ults coming out. Groot ult coming out, trying to see if he can find anything. Into the Daredevil ult combo. Gets 2. Cloak and Dagger ult in response, but it's not enough. They just died through it. They all just died through it. But now they're just going to stall on the point with the Cloak and Dagger ult. The Carpet of Undeath. Going to keep the Emma Frost alive as long as possible on this card, trying to stall. Zafy trying to run away, trying to live. Does get healed up by their Gambit, so maybe they do have a recontest. Falls. Immediately, 4 ults coming out. 3 by the side of the Wolves. 2 by the side, 5 ults on the side. And it ends up the Wolves take it because they just use more ultimates, honestly. They used Mag ult, they used Rocket ult, they used Loon ult. And the Bears could only respond with Mr. Fantastic and Gambit, but it just wasn't enough. They used 3. The team used 2. It's just numbers game at that point. But Wolves did use 2 of their 3 support ults. So now maybe this Phoenix ult could go big, but Chrissy does fall. Koi Fishy does fall, so no ult out of them. We do also have the Thing ult coming up, trying to get a big stun. The only thing that could possibly sustain it is the Gambit ult from Ghostface, but Thing 1v1ing Daredevil. Thing falling low, but immediately supported by his Mr. Fantastic. There's no heals up here, though, so he does end up falling. I don't know where the supports were. They're just both on cart, trying to keep the team alive. The Groot ult coming up again. Groot up number 2. Annihilate falling very, very low. Trying to get sustained from his team, but he's just too far in. He does end up getting healed with that big mode, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Groot comes out, picks 2 as well, so it's just a slaughter from the side of the Wolves. Just, has any of them even died? No. There's been no deaths on the side of the Wolves yet. And even if they do die, they have that rocket res to get them back in the fight. So it's just, the side of the Bears, they're going to have to change something up. They did swap to a Daredevil of their own, and they do have 4 ultimates coming up here. Gambit ult coming out for the side of the Wolves to just keep that team up. Into Daredevil ult, but stunned, falling low. Gets low, but backs up and gets healed with his team. Goes back in with that ultimate still active. Emma ult in response to try and just slow their team down. And it does work. Into the thing ult, gets the Daredevil, but he gets rezzed. Like I was talking about earlier, so it's just, that pick was useless. There's still a lot of ults coming through. There's the Gruul and the Mag ult together and just kills all 6 again. Wow, that decisive fight by the Wolves. And I will say, though, again, no staggers. With all 6 of their players dead, they just come up together and refight together. And I don't know what the Bears can really do here. They just gotta, like, conglomerate themselves and just, I think they're going a little bit too far in. I've noticed, or maybe their supports are not helping. I'm unsure what the real issue is here, but they have both support ults for the side of the Wolves and 60 to a Daredevil ult as well. So if they just rocket amplifier here, they could get their ults really, really quick. The damage boost helps with ult generation as well as the rocket ult. Kierman just Daredevil gaps annihilate. So now it's 5v6, but Zoffi has to pop Cloak and Dagger ult in response to just try and sustain their team, which does work, but Luna Snow ult coming out by Iron Pickle just to keep their whole team alive as well. Gambit ult in response to that, just build their ults, keep their team alive. Groot ult takes down the Gambit. Well done by Gamer to kill the Gambit, and then Kierman just kills 2 with the Daredevil ult. Does he get 3? He gets 3 as well. So wow, that's just another crazy fight win by the Wolves. They've just been, the Kierman aura farming on the cart. I respect it. And it's just a slaughter. Kierman is bubble trying to dive in, getting really low, but he does end up falling, but nobody touched the point. The Magneto bubble onto the Daredevil stalls the Bears enough that they do not get back to the objective. And I will say that is a very decisive push out of the Wolves. And as the teams pick their characters once again, I just want to see, the Bears have to change something. The Bears have to change something drastically. And I don't know what it is. It could be their ultimate usage. It could be their characters. It could be their playstyle. I'm unsure what's really the issue here. I would like to say they could have been using their ult a little bit more. Something I've noticed in this whole series is they don't really, they hold their ults a long time. And Marvel Rivals, you get your ult pretty fast. If you notice that Kieranman had, what, 3 Daredevil ults? Now, obviously, they were on the winning team, but whenever they got it, they just used it. And it usually got 1 or 2 kills every time. So maybe that could have been something to help the Bears do better. I would like to say there is a Doctor Strange on the side of the Bears and an Iron Fist. Maybe get that flanker action because they do have 3 supports. Get them to look at each other instead of their tanks. Because seeing the Wolves, they do have low damage. They're playing for their ults. You know they're playing for their ults. They have 3 support ults, 2 tank ults, and a damage ult. And they don't have enough damage to kill somebody unless they're isolated, from what I've seen. But it didn't seem to be a problem for them. Gamers immediately takes down Annihilate with that group spam. I don't even know how that happened. Must have been the Daredevil damage as well, but just so much damage coming through. Koi Fishy does find Ghostface, though, so crucial support down, but immediately rezzed by the rocket, and Kierman finds Koi Fishy again. Pretty hard to play these poke characters into Daredevil. He's a very good dive character. Immediately takes out Annihilate, even though chokeslam, but just full health. He didn't even get below 300. And just the supports on the side of the Bears are trying their very best, I'm sure, but it's just, there's just so much damage being pumped into their tanks. It's just so difficult. Koi Fishy falling, Glue Man falling. Gamer, East 5 is just picking up all these kills with the help of their Daredevil, of course, but it's just they already have their ult on Groot. They get it canceled. Gloomian cancels the Groot ult into Gambit ult in response, just trying to get something here. They pop Gambit and Cloak and Dagger ult. They need to get this point here. Responded to by Emma Pickle's Luna Snow ult, though, so nobody is going to be falling. Emma's Frost ult coming out, trying to get some kills. Gets both the tanks in it, but it just is not. Phoenix trying to finish on these kills does find Gamer. So that is 2 tanks down from the side of the Wolves, so they're going to have to back up here, get a reset. Ghost falling down. They are still trying to fight this point here, but they have to be backing up. We do have the Daredevil ult coming out, or going to be coming up this fight. So be prepared for that. Only 2 ults on the side of the Bears versus, what, 5 on the side of the Wolves? The Bears did stack their support ults a lot there, which is going to be pretty grave mistake in terms of, because if this Daredevil pops his ult, there's nothing to respond to it anymore. The only thing that can respond to it is this Doctor Strange ult, so he's going to have to get a big stun. Groot ult coming out, gets 4 in it, just falls immediately, but Annihilate tries to sustain with his Mr. Fantastic ult, but immediately responded to by the Daredevil and the Gambit ult just to take him down. Just a clean fight win. Doctor Strange trying to get out, just not gonna live. This is Daredevil doing so much work for the side of the Wolves. And this Mag Bubble, he gets Magneto bubbled every time. As we were talking about earlier, this change for Magneto that happened at the beginning of this season, where he could bubble himself and his teammates, is so big, because he can bubble himself to keep himself alive, and he can also just put it on his Daredevil every time. Now we know Cloak and Dagger ult coming out, immediately responded to by the Mag ult, but he misses, does not find the Cloak and Dagger. He had to fall off the map to survive. Both support ults popped out from the side of the Wolves just to sustain here. That damage boost are crucial into building their ult. Gambit ult coming out by the side of the Bears to keep their whole team alive, just trying to deal that damage again. But it's just not enough. They're just falling. They're just falling, and we still haven't seen this Doctor Strange ult come out. And Reed's just had this ult this whole game, honestly, at this point. And what I was talking about earlier, I think they just got to use it. Another Daredevil ult online for Kyron Man. Groot ult coming out, gets 4 in it. Gambit ult as well into Daredevil ult, just so much damage. The Phoenix ult in response just does not find anyone, and she will be getting low and eventually falling. I would say a little bit of an over ult by the Wolves, but there's only 10 seconds left in the round. I don't even think they can touch. I mean, the Bears might be able to touch with the Doctor Strange portal, but I don't think he can get stunned out of it. I don't think if it's even worth. They don't even touch. The Bears don't even touch, and that's a clean game 1 for the Wolves on payload here. Pretty dominant showing as well from the Wolves, just kind of comboing their ults really well, and Kyron Man with the MVP, of course. That he had Daredevil ult honestly every other fight at this point. And I would like to point out that that is very much in part to the Gambit and the Rocket on their team, because Gambit and Rocket both give increased ult generation in different ways. Rocket has the damage boost, and obviously the more damage you do, the more ultimate charge you're going to build. And Gambit's ult literally just says you get more ult charge generation. So that's realistically why Cameron had almost dropped a 50 bomb in this game. Well done to everyone on the side of the Wolves. And of course, the Bears, they make those adjustments. They could definitely come back from this. It's just going to be rough. I would like to see more ults used out of them and less ult stacking. Like, the support ults were stacked, and I think that's what was the downfall. Like, they had the Cloak and Dagger ult and the Gambit ult out at the same time, so then they had no response for Kyron Man's Daredevil ult. They said nothing. If you had a Cloak and Dagger ult, that would have negated the whole thing. And I would like to say the triple support strategy on the side of the Wolves, very, very effective. Lots of healing. Nobody died. Rocket had 0 deaths. And the person that died the most on the Wolves was Kyron Man with 3. 3 deaths. It's just, well, that's just, I don't even know what you could do on the side of the Bears. Besides that ult stacking issue, I believe they were like 2 split from their supports, because their supports have really good healing numbers, so it's not like they weren't doing their job. They were just, I guess people just isolated themselves and didn't get healed. I'm just unsure. Maybe we'd see a triple support coming out from the next game. Hope to see that. Maybe they're going to try a different approach, try a different strategy, try different characters. They will, I believe we are going to hybrid this round, this next round. So, hoping to see something a little different for the Tides of the Points. Oh, apologies, Convergence, which is hybrid. You have the capture the objective, and then you have to push the cart after you capture the objective. So maybe they're going to try and pick more, like, hold the point characters with this triple support. Maybe they're going to even try triple support. I don't know. We'll have to see on this next round. And they are now picking the maps. And no response yet, so we are going to wait for that. But just crazy performance out of the Wolves. Just well done. Pretty dominant performance. And we're going to wait until they pick their next map, so I will be right back. And we're back going into Game 2. It's going to be the map Kunlun, which is, I believe, a newer map. I do not believe we've seen it. At least I have not seen it on stream before. It's the one with all of the smoke, I believe. We'll have to see as this starts out. Again, looking at these hovers, immediately the Wolves know what their strategy is. They hover the Daredevil, they hover the Groot, they hover the Gambit. I really, really hope the Bears ban the Daredevil this round, just to make it a more fair match, just to not, because they didn't really have an answer for it. And I would expect a Daredevil ban out of here, out of the Bears, 100%. The Wolves banned the Winter Soldier. They're not a fan of that character. Bears didn't really play it, but I believe it was banned last map as well. So, going into the ban here, like I said many times, they banned Groot. Okay, the Groot was more impactful than Daredevil in their eyes. I totally understand it. Pretty hard to defend when your tanks get walled off and they just can't get healed the whole time. I totally get it. And now they do get a pick. They get first pick, so they can lock in someone they do not want banned from their team. They could lock the Magic that Random Easy is hovering. They did pick Invisible Woman, though. So now they want that team up, like I was talking about before, with Mr. Fantastic. Maybe their strategy is just get that team up online, and the Wolves pick Daredevil. So that he will be making an appearance this game. I will like to point out, no other hovers from the side of the Wolves. Just we know what they want. We know what they want to play, but they don't really have a set composition besides those 3 supports and the group. But now that group's banned, I wonder what tank Gamer's going to play. We will have to see. Hulk banned from the side of the Wolves. Gambit banned by the side of the Bears. And I would like to point out that was a really big key part in getting that Daredevil ult so often, because Gambit's ult just gives you faster ult generation. So good ban by the side of the Bears. And I would like to say, I'm surprised they didn't ban the Magneto. Maybe that's their 3rd ban, because those bubbles were killer. Like, Daredevil just did not die. Like, he got in, get a bubble, get a kill, got out. And that just should not happen if you're on a melee character like that without any support. But he got very heavy support from his team. And then they picked Hawkeye, which was banned last round. So this is going to be an interesting map to see. They banned Penny Parker. They don't want any of those spider mines messing up their Daredevil dives. And now on the ban here for the Bears. Yeah, it's Magneto. It has to be Magneto. That just makes sense. Totally understandable. Magneto ban. And now the locks come through. It is going to be Mr. Fantastic, Emma Frost, Doctor Strange, Rocket on both teams. And there's the Invisible Woman for the team up with Mr. Fantastic. And I'm unsure what this team up is for the Wolves, but I believe it's the Blade Hawkeye team up. I believe. But now they are coming out. They want that Hawkeye, but they also want Blade. 3 DPS on the side of the Wolves instead of the 3 supports they were running before. Maybe on attack they don't really need as much sustain, as much healing. They want more pick power with that Hawkeye, because Hawkeye just can one-shot you, so that would really open up the defenses of the Bears. On the side of the Bears, they're running the classic 2-2-2 with Invisible Woman, Rocket Raccoon, Mr. Fantastic, Magic, and Doctor Strange. As well as, Emma Frost, of course. Both teams running the Emma Frost, I would like to point out. And we haven't seen this Magic yet because they were banned last round. They were target banned out, so maybe this Magic is going to do work, and the Wolves were very afraid of it. Now, with this map, pretty hard to see sometimes what some flank routes are, just because Blade immediately jumping into the team, just falling immediately to Gloomman. But Rez, he was close enough to that rocket beacon to get rezzed up, so not a real big damage done. Now, I will say the Magic team up with Doctor Strange allows her to throw a chain that connects 2 enemies together. Maybe that'll be a good combo for that Mr. Fantastic Punch. Gloomman again taking down Mad Lad as well. That's 2 picks from Gloomman today, or right this fight, and well done. They just push them back. Now, again, these character picks, the Venom coming out from the side of the Wolves to get that dive in there instead of their Emma Frost. Very interesting. Rocket ult coming out to get that damage boost out into the dive onto the Magic, but immediately responded to by the other Rocket ult and Invisible Woman ult. Now, it's because the Rocket ult got broken. It is breakable. And both teams' Rocket ults got broken. And again, there's 1 tank, but immediately Hawkeye ult and Venom ult takes 2 down, but traded out by Annihilate. But Gamer just gets res. That Rocket Beacon is just not dying, and every pick that the Bears get just gets rezzed. And that's a fight win for the Wolves. They did have to use a lot of ults to get it, though. But a fight win's a fight win. You get the point, you get the point. Doesn't really matter what you use to get it. So, on the side of the Wolves, they do still have the Daredevil and the Cloak and Dagger ult to survive and potentially win these fights, because there's no defensive ult for the side of the Bears. Unless you are counting this Emma Frost ult, which I believe can... Oh, they portal! They put it onto the point behind. Looking at the Blade, they don't get him, but Annihilate falls instead. We have this Emma Frost, but random picks the the Cloak and Dagger on the side of the Wolves, but immediately gets rezzed. Limbo coming out trying to find any kills here, getting a lot of damage, but I do not know if they're going to find anything. They don't, and a good portal play, a good attempt, but it just didn't work out. The Invisible Woman fell early, Annihilate fell early, and the Wolves cleaned that fight up. And they're getting on to this next point, and they're just still on the objective that whole time. They were capping the whole time. 3 ults coming up for the Wolves, almost 4 with this Hawkeye ult. Interesting choice to play Hawkeye on the map with a bunch of obstructed sightlines, which do stop your arrow charge. But it seems to be working out for them. Now we have the Emma Frost choke slams goes, takes him out of the game. We have this Emma Frost ult as a defensive ult for the Daredevil. I'm pretty sure that can work, but it's definitely going to come out here soon. We also have a Doctor Strange ult for the big stun on them all too. There's the Daredevil ult. Immediately responded to, but with the Emma Frost ult. Takes 3 in it. But Rocket ult as well coming out from the side of the Bears and just takes down the Wolves. With Venom ults on the side of the Wolves. Maybe a little bit of a mistake here. Tries to survive on this objective, but it's not overtime, but they do get out. Will they fully get out, though? No, they're pulled back in by the Invisible Woman on the side of the Bears. So, fight win from the Bears. They did have to use 3 ultimates to win that, though, but Wolves used 2 as well. So, now we're seeing the Jeff on the side of the Wolves with the new skin, of course. And very interesting to still only have the Venomous thing. Big stun from the side of the Doctor Strange. Gets 1, gets 2. Backs up to keep his team alive. Magical coming out just to confirm all these kills. Takes 2 more down. Well done by the side of the Bears just to get that fight win. They did use 2 for that, but more time off the clock. So now they only have the Invisible Woman ult coming out this fight. However, the Wolves only have Blade and Cloak and Dagger. They still have Cloak and Dagger ult. Now, like Mad Lad falls the Invisible Woman, but rezzed by the Rocket. I will like to say that the Blade ult does do anti-heal, so it's not very respondable with the Invisible Woman ult, but they don't even need to use it. He picks the Rocket, but there it is. Comes out pretty late, but it keeps their whole team alive. Rocket falls early as well as Annihilate, so it is going to be a 4v6 this fight with no ultimates. They might just have to back up here. There's both support outs out for the Wolves. Amplifier and Cloak and Dagger just to take out the magic. And they also find Glue-Man. So another fight win they're going through. The Bears did bleed a minute off the clock. Daredevil coming out, but responded to by Annihilate's Mr. Fantastical. I don't know if it's going to do much. Annihilate falls. So that was a pretty big stagger by the side of Annihilate too. They're going to have to wait. The Bears are going to have to wait a long time before they fight this. They do have Magic ult and Rocket ult and Emma Frost. So it's very much recontestable. They on the side of the Wolves, they have the Venom and the Hawkeye looking to see if they can get anything. Venom diving in early, seeing if they can get any picks, get any cooldowns out. There's the ultimate from the Venom. We are Venom, seeing if they can get anything on the back line. Gets the Rocket to 1 HP, but cannot finish. Messi finds 2. Emma Frost ult coming out. Picks 2. Well done by the Emma Frost, but she does end up falling to Kyreman. Now just cleanup crew by the side of the Bears. 10 seconds, and the Wolves still have their Hawkeye ult, and it's in their spawn. I don't know if he'll get back to use it in time. Fight on the point with 3 ults on the Bears. That just might be it. Good defense by the Bears. And I think those bans and those, honestly, unbans by the Wolves. The magic from the side of the Bears, currently the MVP. And maybe they should have left that magic ban, because they're doing a lot of work. And same with the Invisible Woman getting a lot of healing done with that team up with Mr. Fantastic, keeping him alive. Just really well done. Really using the team ups, I think the Bears are. And I think that was what helped them defend a lot of those rounds. I still would like to say, I think the Wolves could have been good with another frontline tank instead of just a Venom. Like maybe Venom and a Magneto. Well, he's banned. Venom and like another frontliner, like Emma Frost, or maybe, I'm trying to think of another frontline tank. Doctor Strange themselves. or the Thing. But from how it is now, they do have a Thing now with the Venom. And Hawkeye, Daredevil, same comp. So the Wolves trying to play pretty half dive, half poke. Would like to see how that's going to go. On the side of the Bears, they're on the same composition they were before. If it ain't broke, they're not fixing it. They got the Doctor Strange team up with the Magic, the Cloak and Dagger, or sorry, the Invisible Woman with the Mr. Fantastic, and the Rockets to keep everyone rezzed up, and it's looking to be a good game here. The showing in the first round was pretty disheartening if you're a Bears fan, but they've definitely shown that they can compete in this tournament and compete in this game. Daredevil flying in, kind of trying to get any kills, does not end up finding anything, but gets the Doctor Strange low, still in the fight. Doctor Strange still super low, but ends up getting out, flies away using that Cloak of Levitation, does get up, Ghostface also diving in with their Daredevil. Both supports falling low onto the side of the Bears. Will they go down? No. Oh, they will. Both supports fall. Both supports fall by the side of the Bears, and that's just a fight win automatically for the Wolves. But Madlad gets traded out by Annihilate, who immediately gets traded out by 2 more on the side of the Wolves. 3 kills from Iron Man, so the Bears are going to have to reset, take this fight again. I don't know how both the supports died there. I think they were just kind of split. Probably got isolated by Iron Man with the Daredevil. Looks like they're going to be portaling here. They do have it. No, they decide not to. Maybe saving it for an overtime recontest. No ults coming up here yet. We're probably going to see a Mr. Fantastic ult and a Daredevil ult this soon. Ghostface diving in onto the Magic, trying to get any kills here. Does not seem to find anything, but does make a lot of space for the team. The Magic does fall, but rezzed by the Rocket. So still 6v6 here. There's the Mr. Fantastic ult. Also, Invisible Woman ult, and it's Clobber in time. Responded to by the Amplifier. So no kills come through. Really big Amplifier by the side of Overgod Zero. Magical coming out to just try and get all these cleanup kills. Everyone falling low. Big damage on the Magic. Zoffy uses their Invisible Woman ult to keep their Magic alive to make sure they win this fight. And sniped in the air. Iron Man falls, and that's a fight win and the point for the Bears. Well done. They used their ults effectively. That was a really, really big Cosmic Yard Amplifier from the side of the Bears. Overgod Zero timed that really well. Nobody died to the Thing ult or the Venom ult from the side of the Wolves, and it was just wraps after that. Now, we will say there are 4 ults on the side of the Wolves, to the Bears 2. And it's not always an ultimate game, but if you have a Daredevil ult and no support ults to counter it, it might as well just be. They also have the Venom ult to dive in, make that space for their Daredevil, so let's see how this is going to go. Gamer finds a pick onto Annihilate. I'm him immediately drops the Cloak and Dagger ult just to win them this fight with that pick. Devil's Rage coming out for the Daredevil, seeing if they can get any kills. And they do end up finding Zoffy, and Red's also going down. So 2 ults from the side of the Wolves to win the fight. To be expected. Daredevil doing big work. Annihilate dropping his ult on the point, trying to find this Hawkeye kill. Doesn't end up finding it. Zoffy also finds I'm him, so that's 2 picks on the side of the Bears. Thing going low as well as the Daredevil, so Daredevil's so far out of this fight. The Venom ulting to survive, just to stall this point, apply the anti-heal to everyone on the side of the Bears. But it does not seem to be doing enough. A lot of damage dealt, but it's just immediately healed back up, and Ghostface will fall to Overgod Zero, and the Bears will take this fight. Daredevil trying to survive on this point, but it's not enough. Glue Man beats him down, and Hawkeye ult coming out, trying to get those kills, maybe from this high ground position, does find Annihilate. Will he get anyone else? Doing big damage to that Doctor Strange, but does not find him random as he takes them down. Now 5 ults on the side of the Bears. Looking for this Venom pick. Venom misses the swing. I don't think they're going to get out. Trying to get that pick. Reds finds the Venom. And now they're all ganging up on this Daredevil here. A lot of damage going through. No ults used. There's the Cosmic Yard Amplifier out of the Overgod Zero. Just to secure this fight. lot of split players on both teams. And the Bears end up finding it. The Bears end up taking it with that ultimate off the back of OVCA Zero's Cosmic Yard Amplifier, and they're still looking for more. Will they get the Invisible Woman? They big stagger onto the Invisible Woman. That's going to get them a lot of card time. And there's another one, another stagger in the back. Cloak and Dagger. Will they end up finding this? They do. Both supports down for the Wolves. And that's another 8 seconds that they're going to have to wait until they can take this fight. They do have Doctor Strange ult and Invisible Woman ult and upcoming Daredevil, but the Bears have 5. Every ult but OVCA Zero's. And Gamer does find Zoffy, though. That's a big opening pick. Not rezzed by the Rocket. Madlad with a big stun onto their team. Will he find it? He gets us 2 people, but does not get any kills. Annihilate and Gloomman popping their ults as well, just to try and sustain. But DeMuffin pops their Invisible Woman ult to sustain their whole team, and Devil's Rage coming out of Iron Man to see if they can get any kills, but only finds Gloomman. Chasing the Invisible Woman down. Daredevil can see you if you're invisible. Going invisible does not save you. Now he's just chasing Zoffy down. But on the point, Madlad taking down Random Easy, and that Chaos comp does end up keeping the point in favor of the Wolves. So they also had to invest their Venom ult as well. So now the Wolves, although they had the point, no ults besides Cloak and Dagger. Oh, nope, then I did not see the Hawkeye ult as well. So that's 2 ults. Again to the side of 4 from the Bears. 20 seconds left. They're going to need to take a regroup here before they take this fight. Hawkeye ult. Big Doctor Strange stun. It got blocked by Madlad. But now we're looking at the Cosmic Yard Amplifier and the Magic ult, letting the Dark Cloud out, killing 4, 5, 6, all of the members of the Wolves going down. And that's the map for the Bears. 1-1. It's 1-1. Well done by the Bears. That was honestly exactly what I wanted to see. I was so... Honestly, at the beginning of this map, I was expecting the Wolves to just ram through it and just win it again before the bans went through. But after these bans, I understand why the Wolves banned the Magic. Because Random Easy was doing a lot on this character, supported by their whole team as well. Of course, those really big Rocket Raccoon ultimates coming out from OVCA Zero, as well as Invisible Woman ults from Zoffy. I don't think they ever stacked them. They took my advice. I don't even know if they heard me. They didn't stack their ults. They had them in response for almost every ult that the Wolves had to throw at them. And, of course, the Wolves also had very impactful plays as well, but that stun block, I don't know, I didn't catch it on camera. I wish I did, but Madlad blocked Red's stun on that last fight. The Doctor Strange ult. You can block it with another shield. And he did, but it just wasn't enough to win them that fight. And I would like to say, I think the bans were what did it here. No Gambit, no Groot, no Magneto. That was the Wolves' win con. They had Groot and Magneto and Gambit last map, and the Bears were like, nah, we're not letting that happen again. Really well played by both teams, honestly. It was very close. I think it was overtime when they capped that, so anyone's game here going into Game 3. This will be Control. So maybe the triple support will come back out from the side of the Wolves to sustain on that point. I don't know if they're going to pick the Daredevil again, because as much as it did in the first round, it was very clear that the tanks were the ones making all that space for the Daredevil, enabling their Daredevil just to do what he did. He still did really well this round, of course, but it was, I believe it was that mag bubble, honestly, that was doing it for him, making him almost immortal. And going to this next round, the map, I do not believe they picked the map yet. They have not. So we will come back once they pick this map for the bans. So see you guys in a little bit. Okay, we are back onto Hell's Haven, the last and final map of Domination. Now, we will have to check these bans because these are crucial. Immediately, the Wolves ban the Magic. They do not want that character in their game again. And the Bears respond with a Daredevil ban. They don't... If you ban our DPS, we're banning yours. And honestly, completely fair. Now, they lock in the Invisible Woman because Zoffy was doing really well in that character. I totally understand. On the side of the Wolves, I believe they're going to lock in the Groot. Yep, so no Groot ban coming out this round, so it's going to be an interesting game. Now, the Wolves have another ban here. I assume they would probably ban the Rocket Raccoon. Just seeing as though Overgod Zeros were really good. Their ults really good, but they banned Mr. Fantastic. They did not mess with that Mr. Fantastic on the side of the Bears. Ban the Magneto, though. They do not like those bubbles either, and I totally understand that. Really good bans from both teams. I think as this tournament has gone on, it has been more and more crucial that your bans reflect the enemy team. You can't just ban who you don't like. You have to ban what the enemy team is good at and what they're doing well on, just to kind of make them change it up, make them change their comps, make them change their picks. Both teams locking in a support here, Gambit and Rocket Raccoon respectively, so I will like to say I think the Wolves, with their triple support comp, if they choose to run it, they ban the Hulk again. They just do not like the Hulk. Maybe the Bears have been running it. I'm unsure. But if the Wolves try to run that triple support comp again, I believe it will be more effective because of Gambit. Because Gambit's ult is not a typical support ult. Gambit's ult does not... It does a decent amount of healing, of course, but its main draw is it gives you a damage boost, a move speed boost, and an ultimate charge boost. And in this match, in this series, ultimates have been the name of the game. So, seeing the Gambit coming out with the triple support again from the side of the Wolves, and notably, Gambit also does a very large amount of damage, so it's not like you're just having 3 0 damage characters on your team. Gambit does a lot. Luna Snow does a decent amount, and Rocket also got buffed this season to do a decent amount of damage as well, so triple supports, but one tank this time. Gamer ES5, solo Groot on tank here. And now, they supported by the Winter Soldier, which has been banned every round besides this one, and Moon Knight. Both teams running Winter Soldier. I would love to see how this turns out. And on the side of the Bears, we have Invisible Woman and Rocket Raccoon for the supports, Iron Fist and Winter Soldier for the DPS, and then Emma Frost and Doctor Strange. 2 tanks, 2 supports, 2 DPS. They're keeping it simple, keeping it classic. Against the Wolves 1-2-3 comp. Now, it's going to be a little hard for this Iron Fist to get on their backline because the backline is just going to heal each other. And then, because they have Gambit, they're just going to do a lot of damage to the Iron Fist too. But now, looking here, both teams trying to poke. Kierman gets really low, but does not end up falling. 100 health. Does get up. Does live. Nobody falling yet. Moon Knight doing a lot of damage on this point here, though. A lot of teams just clump together in that little room, and Moon Knight gets a lot of damage when the Onks bounce. Already at 70% to their ult, so you're definitely going to see that Magneto coming out. Annihilate falling to Ghostface. First pick of the round. But does get rezzed, but Kierman also finds Gloomman, so Kierman just kills Emma Frost right there and then, and now the Bears did have the point for that, so 17%, but oh, Red's going down late. That's going to be really rough. But ults coming out from both sides. Going to be up on this fight. Both teams are going to have their Rocket Raccoon ult. Both teams are going to have one of their DPS ults. Random Easy does have their Winter Soldier ult here, so maybe they can look for a hook on the Groot or a pick on someone here. But Kierman does have that Moon Knight ult that can come out at any point. Iron Fist going to the backline and Annihilate trying to get a pick, but he does fall, but that does allow for Gamer to die. Armed and Dangerous coming out, immediately responded to by the Groot ult. And the Cosmic Yard Amplifier by debuffing, but it wasn't enough. And even Zoffy tried to use their ult, and it just wasn't enough. They tried to sustain, it just wasn't enough. That damage boost onto that Moon Knight ult just cleared. The Moon Knight ult damage boost plus the Groot ult just pulled them all into the center, and the Moon Knight ult just cleared them all up. Well played by both teams. The Zoffy even tried to keep the team up with their ult there, but coming in here, Annihilate falling low, but does get a ton of shields with that block. Still shooting at the group, but falls. Stun from big stun out of the Doctor Strange, but Armed and Dangerous in response just got sucked by the Emma Frost ult, just immediately stunned as well. But Luna Snow ult comes out to try and sustain and does. They do stay on this point, 85%. The Bears have to get something done, but they're just dropping. 3 down, 4 down. Random Easy trying to sustain this point with the Armed and Dangerous, but does not seem to get any resets. 95. I don't even know if they have enough time to portal. 97. That's round 1 going to the Wolves. Pretty dominantly with this triple support comp. Not many members falling. A lot of them with 0 or 1 death on the side of the Wolves. This is what we kind of expected before. This is what was happening that first round. Now, ults do carry over through rounds. So we will have the Iron Fist ult. Well, never mind, he swaps to Jeff. Never mind. Overgod 0 swaps to Spider-Man. Looks like they're going to stay on it this round. Maybe just get those picks on the supports of the Wolves. It's a little interesting. Oh! Okay, I thought he used his ultimate in spawn. I thought Kieran Minge used his ult in spawn. I was... but Random Easy goes to Punisher here to roll out on this character and maybe to get some damage on that Groot. Because the Groot doesn't really have a shield. They only have their walls. So you can get those walls down really easily. Now we do have no changes from the side of the Wolves. They know what's working. And they're going to do their best to keep it going. We will like to see Groot ult and Rocket Raccoon ult coming out. Will be coming out this fight, hopefully. They're definitely up in the ult charge department. So the Wolves will have 4 ults this fight, almost 5. So no ults on the side of the Bears yet. Invisible Woman ult coming up though. A lot of spam damage going through on both sides. Groot ult coming out into Moon Knight, but it gets canceled. No, it doesn't. It goes through. He dies, and it doesn't even matter. He still goes through. Mad that pops their Gambit ult just to secure this, and it just team wipe from the side of the Wolves. Bears falling down. They only used their Invisible Woman ult, but if the Invisible Woman's caught in the Groot ult, and they get Moon Knight ulted, their ult drops if they die. So that must have been the Wolves' plan there. Just kill the Invisible Woman. It doesn't even matter if they ult, because they'll just fall. And now we do have the Jeff ult. Side of the Bears, as well as both tank ults, Spider-Man ult, and Punisher ult. So 5 ults coming up from this fight on the side of the 1 from Wolf. So they should have the advantage here. But Ghostface does have... Oh, Spider-Man ult coming out. Gets 2. Random Easy cleans 2 of those fights up. Overgod 0 gets hit by the Armed and Dangerous, but just gets out of there. Big kills by Random Easy. Taking them out. 2 supports down from the side of the Wolves, so... Oh, wait, was it 1? It was 1, I apologize. And now, the Bears should be taking some space here with those 2 picks, but they're just kind of stuck in their own choke. They're scared to walk forward, and this is some severe time loss on this point here, and the point's moving now. Gloomman falls. Kierman finds Random Easy as well. Red's slowed and stunned by the Luna, and they don't get the point. It's moved, and they're down 4. So, now Zophie's falls, Overgod 0 falls, Staggers coming out. They really need to group up if they want to cap this point in time, and it's already 80%. And I think Reds is going to fall now too. He has no shield, he's low health, and he has no supports with him. He does end up getting healed by Zophie, good heals. But there's just nothing really going on. Like, there's no attempts being made. Here we go, Random Measy going for the flank. Annihilate going for the eat as well. Gets one. Lot of ultimates coming out. Randomizi with their Punisher ult, comboing with that Emma Frost and the Eat from the Jeff. Does end up finding 4. But still, they haven't capped the point yet. It's 99. It's overtime. They need to stay on the objective here. No supports for the side of the Bears. They're falling low. You can't get off of the point. The overtime's going to tick down. Overguard 0 has the touch, but ends up falling. Now they have to touch debuff with their own Cosmic Yard Amplifier and Cosmic Yard Amplifier, but big stun from Reds trying to get anyone, but the support ults from the side of the Wolves is doing too much. The Moon haunts you on the side, and that's it. The Wolves take it 2-0. No. The Bears only got 17% on the first cap point and did not get any percentage since then. And Current Man, again, with the MVP, just DPS players tend to do that. They tend to do a lot of damage. They tend to get a lot of kills. So, well done from both sides, and just Current Man doing big damage. Yeah, that Moon Knight pick was really good on this point. Because just everyone likes to group up in that choke, and they get kind of scared to walk out to the point from what I've noticed. Just teams in general. They're just kind of scared to walk. So if you're scared to walk and you're clumped, that Moon Knight's going to do so much damage. Almost 16,000 damage, 25-2. Well done, Current Man. And of course, supported by that triple support comp. And if you look at the stats here, the Wolves didn't really have more healing. It was just, they just had the point control. They just had the objective, and they didn't die because they had 3 supports. They had that Gambit ult to get their ults way faster than the Bears could, and the Spider-Man swap did not do what the Bears wanted in that fight, so in that point. So good game. It was map 3. It was very competitive. I like to see my map 3s. I'm honestly surprised they didn't start with domination, because that's usually my favorite map to watch. But yeah, well done to the side of the Wolves. They just took that pretty cleanly. And I don't know, I think the Bears could have benefited from having one tank and then more flankers. Maybe a third support themselves just to keep themselves alive. Another support ult to keep their Invisible Woman ult. Because every time she ulted, which was the correct play, she ulted the Groot ult every time, but it was just, she was also caught in it, I believe. So they just died through it. And then it dropped, and then her whole team died. So maybe I would say expect the Groot ult, but that's pretty hard. Like, you can't, like, if he hasn't used it in a couple of fights, maybe play back. It's just hard. The comp was a little rough for the side of the Bears, but GGs are all around. They gave it a tough fight. They brought it to map 3, and, well, there we go. But, so, thank you guys all for watching. That was a really good game. I was very happy that we got to see that. I'm very happy that it went to map 3. Hopefully next week we'll be back with my funnier compatriot, and we will see you guys in the next one. See you guys later.